Hi all, this is Dr. Honey Thomas, Faculty for Research Methodology and Statistics from DK classes. As you all know, Research Methodology and Statistics is a 50 marks paper included in the 4th year curriculum of BAMS. It includes two parts. Part A, that is the research methodology, costs 30 marks, and the part B, that is the statistics, and it includes 20 marks. As it is a new subject for every student, they consider it as a very difficult subject to learn. But it is a simple subject when we learn it systematically and also when we are comparing the concept to the real life matters. Today, we will have a short discussion on research methodology and statistics. So, what is research? It derived from the French word. The term research derived from the French word rechercher, that means to go about seeking. Read plus search, that can be blended onto the single term research. There are many definitions defined by many universities and authorities to the term research. I have taken the simple and easiest three definitions for research. Okay, it is a systematic gathering of data and its analysis for advancement of knowledge in any subject. That means the systematic, whatever things we are doing, it should be in a systematic way. That means if we are solving a puzzle, every blank of the puzzle should be placed systematically to solve the whole puzzle. That is a systematic gathering of data. What is data? What all things we are collecting in associated with this research. For example, if we are looking for iron deficiency anemia as a research subject, we will be looking on to the HB of each and every patient. Okay. That HB, the score of that HB, even it is 8 milligram or 14 milligram or 12 milligram, whatever it is, that can be the data of this study on iron deficiency anemia, and also the age of the subject, the gender of the subject, the demographic data of the subject, age of the subject, everything can be the data that can be included under the process of this research. And its analysis, we have some data, that means HB is there, age is there, place of residence, everything can be a data, and we are analyzing it. It's analysis for the advancement of knowledge. What is the advancement of knowledge? We want to learn about the current status of this iron deficiency anemia. Okay, from this research, we are gaining a knowledge. Yeah, this is the status of iron deficiency anemia in rural area or in urban area or in this sex or in this age group, whatever be, and we are getting a knowledge out of this process. That is the systematic gathering of data and its analysis for the advancement of knowledge, in any subject, that is termed as research. So the points here are systematic, data, and advancement, analysis and advancement of knowledge. These four terms should be there in your research definition. Okay, then the second definition, that is a systematic and scientific process. Scientific process means the term itself say it is done by some well trained or well practiced or well expertized hands are doing this. Okay, research can be done by a layman, it can be done by a research experts. Systematic and scientific process to answer questions about facts and relationship between facts. That means we are gathering evidences to answer a question that should be answered with this evidences. That means, for example, you have a question: what is the status of poverty? Or what is the status of poverty in rural area? Okay, you have a question that, and you are gathering some data related to that, and we are using this data to answer this question, the status of this poverty in this rural area. This is the second definition for research. And it is a move from known to unknown. We have some knowledge about the HB and all, and we are gathering that data to get a knowledge about the unknown, that is about the status of an iron deficiency anemia. That means we are gathering of known data to seek a knowledge which is unknown. Okay. And see, this is the puzzle solving. If we are connecting it, these blanks are connected properly and systematically, only we can solve a puzzle, just like how we are gathering data and solving a research question. So we are moving on to the characteristics of a research. Okay, sorry. It demands a clear statement of the problem. Research problem is nothing but the research question that we have in our mind. As I have told earlier, what is the status of poverty in rural area? It's the research problem now. And it requires a systematic plan of work. That means how we are going to tackle this problem, how we are going to solve this problem. It needs a systematic plan of work. As we are building a home, a new home, we will be having a good blueprint, right? A good framework. Okay, that is the systematic plan of the systematic plan of the work. That means how we are starting, and what are the age group of people we are looking into, and what all our criteria are we are asking to them to get a solution for our problem. That is the framework. That is the systematic plan of work. Okay, and the research, it builds on good research always builds on the existing data and using the both positive and negative findings. Research that doesn't mean it will collect only the positive data. It will be collecting both positive and negative findings. Then only we can go to a good conclusion. And it always built on the existing data, and it is not and this means the good research won't ever fabricate data. That means they won't create new data. They will be working on the existing data. Okay, then good research is logical. Okay, logical in the sense new data should be collected as required and be organized in such a way that they answer the research questions. As I have told earlier, they will be working on the existing data. That means there won't be any false data building up. It is always logical. The data will be collected as required and it will be organized as like we are making a what all things to build a how we will be collecting cement or iron rods. Everything will be systematically collected and arranged together, and they will end up in finally in solving the research question or building, just like building a new home. The results of good research should be verifiable. The research is, if replicated, should yield some conclusion. That means if I am doing a research on a particular group of people and I am getting a conclusion or answer to the research question, and if one among you is doing the same thing in the same way, you should also get the same research answer. That means same conclusion should be, our conclusion should not be different from each other. That means it is also shows the replicability of the answer of this research question, which shows me or neither you or me have not done any fabricated data or nothing what unscientifically with related to this research work. Okay. And what is the need for research in Ayurvedic medicine? Okay, that we should answer here. Okay, it's the right of the patient to receive the best available medicine. How a patient is now aware about the best available medicine? As you all know, we are in the way, or we are almost have digitalized. Almost every patient or people are well aware about their clinical conditions. Okay, and they know how to choose medicines. Okay, now even the Google can answer which is the good medical science that can heal your disease. Okay, so we have heard about a new case, that means that ChatGPT have ChatGPT have solved a diagnosis of a patient. Many consultations he have went on, but neither of the specialist or nor anyone could help him in solving his diagnosis. But ChatGPT could do that. That's the way of digitalization. So we should also go behind that, not behind the digitalization. We should popularize our Ayurvedic science by showing them evidence. Yes, we can do something. So we can do this thing. Likewise, okay, it is the right of the patient to receive the best available medicine, and how they can understand this best available medicine from the what available data that we have, that we are publishing always. Okay, it is now publishing in the modern science and also in Ayurveda, and to cope up with the fast developments in the field of medicine. That means always we are sticking on to the conventional kashaya preparations and shira kashaya, everything. But there should be some advancement in that pharmacological preparations too, to meet up the fast development in the field of medicine and to cope up with the fast running life of a human being. And also to globalization of Ayurveda. Ayurveda always uses our particular terms and criteria to explain our concepts. Okay, that's always right. But apart from our part, and another science person, if he is approaching us, we should explain our science to them in their own terms. Okay, that should be done properly. And fourth point is standardization of Ayurvedic drugs, medicinal preparations and treatment procedures. There is actually no, so far, standardization of Ayurvedic drugs in a, have acquired a great success in standardizing by with the help of CCRIs like institutes, and medicinal preparations. They are also making some benchmarks to meet the quality and efficacy of medicinal preparations and the treatment procedures. That should be that's the next task that should be taken up. Like what is Pittantam Vamanam? Every physician says Pittantam is Vamanam, but we could not explain how it happens. Okay, and what is the criteria to assess whether that patient have attained Pittantam. Likewise, treatment procedures also should be standardized. Okay. Then legal issues in Ayurvedic clinical practice. Many are facing the Ayurvedic means legal issues in the clinical practice. As they say, there are no evidence for these medicines, but it's not so. And to bring about the basic principles of Ayurveda to a better understandable way. That, as I have told earlier, it's a part of globalization of Ayurveda too. And we will move on to the research design. Research we have told, and the research design. What is the research design? As it is the framework, that means the plan, the plot of the work, how we are moving on to, what is the type of study we are taking in, whether it is observational study or experimental study or whatever it is. I will go deep into the designs in further classes. Just understand, it is the framework for a study. We have a good plan for a study. Okay. Then type of research design. There are 4 major types of research designs. First major type is observational and experimental designs. Okay, it is the broad classification. Observational studies and experimental or intervention studies. Observational studies means me as a researcher, I'm observing what is happening there. Okay, just like what menstrual hygiene in rural area, I am observing the menstrual hygiene over there. And the second is experimental or interventional studies. That means I'm giving a drug or a yoga therapy or whatever it is to a group of people, and I'm taking the data out of this. Observation means I'm just observing. Experimental or intervention means I'm giving an intervention and taking the data out of that. Okay, and the second is basic and applied research. Basic means we are working on our fundamental theories and principles like Tridosha theory, Prakriti, like based on the fundamental principles we are working. And applied research means we are taking this basic research results into the applied aspect, means assessing the Prakriti of a patient, how we can assess the Prakriti of a patient, and how we can applied treatments based on that prakriti. Okay, that is the applied research. That is nothing but applying the basic principles in the real life. Okay, then quantitative and qualitative research. Quantitative, as the term says, it have a quantity. That means it have some numerical values or something that can be measurable. And qualitative research means that that's not a measurable criterion. It always answers some question like how it is happening, why it is happening. Like questions can be answered by qualitative research, and in the same way, quantitative, how many things, how many what criteria are there, how much it can go further. Like quantifiable terms or questions are answered in the quantitative research, and the conceptual versus empirical research. Conceptual and empirical research that can be compared with the conceptual can be compared with this basic research itself, that is working on the concept itself, and empirical means it's working on the experimental research itself. Okay, and the research methodology. Research methodology and research design, it's something, it's not really apart, but there is a difference. Research methodology explains the way or the path through which research intends to carry out the research. The whole process will be included under this research methodology. Okay, whereas research design says what type of design we are using, whether it's an observational study or experimental study. Many designs are there and included under this observational studies, experimental studies, and all. We will learn it in the detail in further classes. Okay, research methodology is the pathway, the whole pathway in the process of this research. Okay, and it should be logical, systematic planning should be there to resolve a research problem. A methodology details a researcher's approach to the research to ensure reliable, valid results and that address their aims and objectives. That should be the researcher's approach to research means that it should be really sincere, and then there should not be any fabrication of data. That means it should ensure the reliability of the research work. It should be repeatable. Okay. It encompasses what data they are going to collect and where from, as well as how it's being collected and analyzed. As I have told earlier, from which age group I am collecting the data of HB, and from which sex group, and from which geographical area I am collecting, and from which all presenting clinical symptoms, group of presenting clinical symptoms from which I am collecting the data. All these are explained in the research methodology of the researcher. Okay, these all criteria should be explained in the research methodology. Okay, and this is the end of the session. Okay, hope you have understood the things, and if you have any comments or doubts, please comment down. Thank you.